second grade. How are you? It's been so long. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I am Miss Baker back with you for math today. And boy, we are going to be doing some really fun math. Today, as we go ahead and look at our learning target, we're going to be using what we learned last week and putting it to practice again this week. Let's go ahead and get our bow and arrows ready and shoot. I can add several two-digit numbers together using multiple strategies. There's some words in there that are tricky. Let me read that again. I can add several two-digit numbers together using multiple strategies. Now, we already know what we do when we add. We put our numbers together. And we already know what a two-digit number is. We know that a two-digit number has a tens place and a ones place because it has two digits. What we might not already know is what that word several means. That word several means more than one, maybe even more than two. We want to be adding 3 and 4 two-digit numbers together today. So our several two-digit numbers is going to be more than the 2 that we added together last week. So I'm going to write that little reminder up here, more than 2. And you're going to see that practice come to play today in our work. The next thing I thought you might have a little bit of trouble with is the idea of using multiple strategies. Now, a strategy is, how do we solve it? What is our tool in our toolbox? What is our trick to making sense of these problems? Our strategy is how we solve it. But we know that there's more than one way to solve these problems. So today, when we think about our several two-digit numbers, we're going to be solving them using more than one way. We're going to be showing at least 2 different ways to add these numbers together. Let's go ahead and take a peek back at our work from Friday to wet our whistle, get us ready, prime the pump for our work today. Now, on Friday, we were adding two-digit numbers and we had to do something kind of tricky. We had to regroup. That means that we had more ones and we had to make a 10 with it. So I thought I'd bring back one of our independent practices that I gave you to work on Friday afternoon. Our problem was 18 plus 74 equals, I don't know, that's what that box is for, right? When we have 18 plus 74, I imagine that based off of our work from Friday, you did one of 2 things. You drew your base 10 blocks and added them together that way, or maybe you even used a number line. Let me show you what I hope to see on your paper that you did at home. The first way, really I love this way, using our base 10 blocks to help us add these numbers together. First, I need to show my number 18. And my number 18 has 1 10 and 8 ones. My number 74 has 7 tens. Count this with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And it has 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did I count them differently? That's right. They're worth something different. Our 7 in our tens place is worth 10. So each of those sticks we count by tens. And our 4 is worth 1. So we count each one by ones. That's that idea of place value, right? Each place is worth something different. Now we've got to add them together. So I'm going to add my ones, and I notice here's 8, and I know that 8 and 2 is 10. So I'm going to circle up that 8 and 2. I'm going to label it as a 10, and guess what, second grade? I'm going to move it because it is so much easier to know it as a 10, as a stick of 10, than it is to count and recount those ones. Now I have 7 tens down here and 2 tens up here. 7 and 2 is 9. So 7 tens and 2 tens is 9 tens. So 70 and 20 is 90. And then I have my 2 little ones right here. Can't forget about those. and I have my number 92. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, one more way I'm going to show you, because this might help you as you're thinking about your work today. I'm going to start with my 74. I make a big jump of 10, and I land on 84 because my 10's place is changing. I'm adding a stick of 10, and so I am going to add a 10 to the 10's place. So my 7 changes to an 8. Then I need to add 8 ones. I'm going to add 6 ones first. Does anybody know why I'm going to add 6 ones to 84? That's right. 4 and 6 is 10, and 10 is a friend. 10 is a friend. I love when we make a 10 when we're solving these problems. That gets me to 90, and 6 and 2 more gets me to those 8 ones. Here is my 2 more, and I land on 92. And now I know my sum of 18 and 74 is 92. Both times I made a 10 to make it easier to add. I want you to keep that in your mind today as we solve some other problems. Let's take a peek at number 1. In number 1, I have a table, and this table is not the table you eat your dinner on. This table is a table that holds data or information. And this information is the second grade classes at a school. Now, there are 3 second grade classes at this school: Class A, Class B, and Class C. This data, or this table, shows us how many students are in each second grade class. There's 34 students in Class A, 26 in Class B, and 33 in Class C. We need to figure out how many students there are so we can go on a field trip to the art museum. So I'm curious. My question is, how many second graders will be attending the field trip to the art museum? If these are the students in the classes at this school, how many students will be attending the field trip? When we solve these problems, we have to ask ourselves first, what do we know? You're right. We know that there's a class that has 34 students, a class that has 26, and a class that has 33. And we can assume that all of those kids are going to go on that trip. What are we trying to find out? That's right. We're trying to find out how many students are going to go on this field trip. How are we going to do that? What equation might you write to match this problem? What equation could we write to help us solve this? Yes, we want to add these numbers together. Now, our learning target would give us a clue about that, wouldn't it? If our learning target tells us we're adding several numbers, this is going to help us solve this work. 34 plus 26 plus 33 equals box. Because we don't know what the sum is of all those numbers. That's what we have to solve for. Now, I'm going to give you a few moments to solve that yourself. While you're solving, I want you to ask yourself, what tool or what model am I using? Am I going to use base 10 blocks? Maybe I'll expand my numbers and use my expanded form and use partial sums. Or maybe I would even use a number line to help me solve this. Don't forget, we want to see each of these add-ins in your work. Go ahead and start solving, and I might ask you a few questions while you're working. I'll give you about 2 minutes. Go ahead and start. How might you decompose those numbers or break them up to make them easier to add? Are there any numbers you can put together to make a 10? What model will you use? If you need to look back, you can always go back and look at your equation to help remind you of what you need to include in your model. Don't forget to put an answer in the box. Give you about 30 more seconds to finish up. I'm going to count down. When I say done, we're going to put our pencils down. Our eyes are going to come back on the screen, and we're going to be thinking about how our work looks the same or different than the work that I'm putting on our board. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, second grade, let's take a peek at these numbers. If we want to use our base 10 blocks, how can we set these up? Just like we did last week when we line up our 10s and our 1s. Let me draw my 34 first. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Now I need to draw my 26. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And 33, we can't forget about that. I bet you all are yelling at me through the screen. 1, 2, 3 10s and 3 1s. Now what do I do? Did you see that too? If I know that 6 and 4 makes 10 up here, then I know I can put this 6 and 4 together to make 10 right here. Ooh, I'm going to slide that over here and add a 10 to the top of that. Now how many 1s do I have? I only have 3 1s because I moved this 10 over here. Now how many 10s do I have? 3, and 2 is 5, and 3 more is 8, and 1 more is 9. How much is 9 10s worth? That's right, it's worth 90. So if I have 9 10s worth 90 and 3 1s worth 1, how much do I have? That's right, I have 93. Wiggle waggle if you got that same answer. Ooh, you guys are so smart. Too smart for me even, probably. Let's take a peek at another way. This might be one of my favorites. How many of you broke your numbers up into 10s and 1s? Did you all draw them like this? Or did some of you use just numbers to help you help show this? That's what I thought. We have some smart second graders around here. Now, when you were drawing your 10s, how many 10s were in 20? 6, I should say. There's 20. I have 2 10s, which is worth 20 from 26, 3 10s worth 30 from 34, and 3 10s worth 30 from 33. And what will I get if I add those 10s together? Did anybody else see those 2 3s? That makes 6. So then we have 30 and 30, which makes 60. 70, 80. What will I put together for my 1s? The 4 plus the 6 plus the 3. Ah, I bet you did that too. And 10 and 3 is 13. Now I need to add my 10s and my 1s together, don't I? Well, when I add 80 and 13 together, what do I get? 8 10s and 1 10 is 9 10s. 0 1s and 3 1s is 3 1s. And what did you notice about those two strategies? They have the same sum. What else do you notice about those two? We grouped them to make a 10. What else? Our 10s and our 1s were separated. Let's see if we can do the same thing. We're adding 4 two-digit numbers together. This is a table, I know another table, that is showing us animals that you might find at your local zoo. There are 13 birds, 38 amphibians, 27 mammals, and 12 reptiles. How many animals can be found at the zoo? What equation might we write to match this story? I was thinking that same thing too. 13 plus 38 plus 27 plus 12. We want to make sure that if we're adding all of these numbers, that we can include them all in that equation. We don't want to leave any out, do we? How can you decompose or break apart those numbers with tens and ones to make that easier to add? I'm going to give you about 1 minute this time. Think about how we did these two pieces up here to help you solve this one down here. Remember, we want to see where are all of those numbers in your work? Are you including all of them? Are you putting any numbers together to make them easier to add? About 30 seconds. Trying to give you private think time, but this is hard for me to do, even in my classroom. I get so impatient. I want to see. I wish I could see what you all were doing right now. All right, we're coming together in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little pinky, and done. Let's put those pencils down and our eyes come on up here. How can we decompose or break apart these numbers to make them easier to add? Right. We can break them up into tens and ones. So we have 13, we have 38, we have 27, and we have 12. Now, what did you notice about those ones? Did anybody else notice that? Our 3 and our 7 is a 10 combination. And 8, 9, 10. Holy guacamole, second grade. Look at that. We have 2 groups of 10 in our ones. So what would we have all together? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Now, I could do my 70 plus my 20 gets me to 90 if I was thinking about my 10s and my 1s. What would that look like if I was doing it with my just equations? 10 and 30, 20 and 10. Did anybody else add just 2 of them together to make them a little bit easier? I like to chunk them up a little bit too. 40 and 30 is 70. And so now I know that that is 70 as well. I can move them around to make them easier to add. How would you set up your ones? I was thinking that same thing. Choosing my 3 from 13, my 7 from 27, my 8 from 38, and my 2 from my 12. Why would I do that? If we can make a 10, because 10s are friends, 10s are friends. And now I have 20, and we know that 20 and 70 are 90. Now, take a minute and soak that up. You could easily add those 2 numbers yesterday, or on Friday. I guess it wasn't yesterday, was it? On Friday, and you were regrouping. We did that same thing today, but today we did it with 3 two-digit numbers and 4 two-digit numbers. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to have a little bit of extra practice to kind of feel better and stronger with it. The more times I practice, the better I get. Practice that doesn't make perfect, but it does make us feel better, doesn't it? I don't want to forget to add this in here too. Hate leaving blanks on my chart. Now, your job Your turn is to use this table from our animals at the zoo. Now, my question for you is, using this table, 13 birds, 38 amphibians, 27 mammals, and 12 reptiles. How many birds, amphibians, and reptiles can be found at the zoo? Wait a second, let me say that again. Using the table from number 2, how many birds, amphibians, and reptiles can be found at the zoo? What numbers am I going to use for my chart today? You're right. I need to tell how many birds there are, so I need this. How many amphibians there are, so I need this number. And how many reptiles, so I need this number. Ooh, I don't care about my mammals. That's not important for this problem. So what equation might I write to match this problem or to help me solve this problem? How many birds, amphibians, and reptiles? That's right. I'm only going to have 3 two-digit numbers in this problem in my addition sentence. I'm going to have my 13 plus my 38 plus my 12. And I'm solving for the unknown. Now, second grade, you're going to do this part at home. You are going to write down this equation. 13 plus 38 plus 12 equals, I don't know. Let's find out how many of these animals you can find at the zoo. Don't forget to write this down. 13 plus 38 plus 12 equals, Now, I know that your families at home are going to want to see you decomposing these numbers to make them easier to add. So, whether you are drawing them out with your base 10 blocks and grouping together your 10s and your 1s, or maybe you're just writing the numbers from this equation and you're breaking out your 10s and your 1s to make them easier to add. And then don't forget to put the 10s and the 1s together. That's an important part. 13 plus 38 plus 12. I wonder how many animals you can find. I'll see you tomorrow, second grade. Awesome job.
Everybody, welcome to Brain Breaks with Coach Whit. Today we're going to be doing some awesome stretching and balance work out. So first, what I want you to do, get yourself up, hang out with this unicorn, all right? I'm going to stand straight up. I'm going to reach all the way to the ceiling, get on my tiptoes and stretch, 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 stretch. Now bring it on down, all the way down to your toes. Nice stretch. Bring it back on up. Wait a minute. Am I working out with a unicorn? Yes, you are. Tiptoes, come on. Get on those tiptoes, bring it back down. Going down like an elevator. Here we go. All the way to the ground. Bring it back up, nice and easy. Whew, I know we've done some crazy workouts. This one just as crazy. All right, stretching out a little bit. You've been sitting down for a while. Bring it back on up. Nice. Shake it out. Now we're gonna do something called rock stars, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna get in a little, almost like you're doing a jumping jack, like you're frozen in the air like this, a star, and you're just gonna rock foot to foot, back and forth. We're just hanging out here, stretching our arms out, stretching our legs out, just living life, ladies and gentlemen, having a good time, all right? If you want to, pause for a minute, come back down. Oh, get a little crazy there, coach. I know, don't worry about it, all right? Keep it going. Nice, shake it out. Next, what we're going to is a nice easy tree pose. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your foot and you're just going to put it on the bottom of your leg. All right. If you have trouble balancing, that's okay. If you need to step your foot off, step your foot off. You're gonna put your foot right there. You can hold your hands in the middle. You can put your hands up. You can be a tree in the wind, whatever you wanna be, all right? So kind of just hang out here. Try to work on your balancing, just like that. And we're gonna switch legs in just a minute, but I like to wave. I have a hard time sitting still, if you can't tell. So I just kind of go. Go. So be whatever kind of tree you want to be, all right? We're going to do this for just a couple more seconds. Here we go. And now we're going to switch. Shake that leg out. We're going to go to the other leg, all right? Put that up. Balance yourself. And if you're having trouble balancing, try to focus on one thing. So right now, I'm staring at the camera. That's what's helping me balance. So I'm staring at the camera. That's helping me balance. If you need to put your arms out like this and help you balance, that's totally fine. Do what you can do, ladies and gentlemen. We're just here, getting up, moving, having F-U-N. Fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're down. We're down to the last move. This is called the chair pose. But ladies and gentlemen, there is no chair. So you're going to sit down. Here we go. Squat down. And I'm just sitting down. Nice and easy. My arms are out. I'm waving at all you guys. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? You in the back? I see you. What's up, man? Good to see you, all right? Whew. 3, 2, 1. That's all for me, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.